Hello there, I'm Tonton. You're tuned into 7th edition. Here are tonight's top stories. Datuk Seri Najib Tan Sri Irwan Siregar slapped with CBT charges involving 6.6 billion ringgit. Ministries in talks over targeted petrol subsidies. Political tensions mount after bombs sent to Trump critics. Former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak and former Treasury Secretary General Tan Sri Muhammad Irwan Siregar Abdullah have been slapped with 6 charges of criminal breach of trust (CBT) involving 6.6 billion ringgit worth of government funds. Both pleaded not guilty to all the charges today, with Tan Sri Irwan Siregar becoming the highest-ranking civil servant to be charged since Datuk Sri Najib lost the general election in May. 4 of the 6 charges filed on Thursday, involving about 4.78 billion ringgit, relate to a settlement agreement between scandal hit State Fund 1 Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB and Abu Dhabi State Fund IPIC. Datuk Sri Najib and Tan Sri Irwan were said to have committed the offences between December 2016 and December 2017. According to the charges, they were entrusted with the funds but misappropriated the money in their positions as Finance Minister and Treasury Secretary General at the time. The first 2 charges were activities said to have been committed on December 21, 2016 at the office of the Finance Ministry. The 3rd and 4th offences were committed in the Federal Consolidated Fund in August 2017, the amounts of which were meant for the Kuala Lumpur International Airport Berhad expenditure, subsidies and financial aid. The 5th and 6th charges were for committing CBT on August 23rd and December 18th the same year, involving an amount of 1.26 billion ringgit and 2 billion in August and December respectively. If convicted under Section 409 of the Penal Code, read together with Section 34 of the same code, they face a maximum jail term of 20 years, whipping and a fine. November 29th has been set for the next case mentioned. The Sessions Court set 1 million ringgit bail each for Datuk Sri Najib and Tan Sri Irwan. Both defendants were told to pay 500,000 ringgit today, with the remaining amount to be settled within 10 days. They were allowed 2 bailers each. The court also ordered the duo to surrender their passports pending disposal of the case. Commenting on the court case today, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said more individuals involved in use of power and graft practices from the previous government administration are expected to be hauled up in court. In stressing that the rule of law must be upheld, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad pointed out that nobody was above the law.
That's the rule of law. You have to charge people if you have any evidence, and if you think that it can be upheld by the courts. So I suppose the people who preferred the charges must have enough evidence to charge with Datuk Sri Najib and others for something that is very serious. It's not a play, it's something like a game or anything like that. We have no wish to take revenge on anybody, but the rule of law applies to everyone, whether you are incumbent Prime Minister or retired Prime Minister, or in fact in Malaysia, even the rulers are subject to laws of the country. They are hiding the money. I suppose they will continue to hide the money. And if we can get them, we will get them. I'm not taking any offer. If he wants to do it, he can do it.
The Prime Minister was speaking to the Malaysian media at the end of his 2-day working visit to Thailand. At the media conference, the Prime Minister was also asked to comment on former Defence Minister Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein's intention to help bring back businessman Low Tek Jo from China.
No, I'm not taking any offer. If he wants to do it, he can do it. For the country. I don't have to ask him to be my representative or anything, no way.
But would the government be giving some form of help him to
No.
act as your representative?
Nothing. He can do it himself. If he says he can, he's welcome to do so. Anybody who thinks they can contact Joe Low and bring him home, we will accept.
Last Monday, Datuk Sri Hishamuddin said that he was willing to help the government find Low to facilitate the investigation into the 1MDB scandal. He is believed to have been hiding in various countries, including Hong Kong, Macau, and China. Meanwhile, former Malaysian External Intelligence Organisation MEIO Director General Datuk Hassanah Abdul Hamid was charged with CBT for allegedly misappropriating 50 million ringgit in government funds. She was accused of committing the offence in the Prime Minister's department in Putrajaya between April 30th and May 9th this year. Datuk Hassanah pleaded not guilty. The offence under Section 409 of the Penal Code provides a maximum 20 years jail and whipping, as well as a fine upon conviction. The court set bail at 500,000 ringgit in 2 sureties, pending mention on November 29th. Datuk Hassanah was detained by the MACC on August 28th on suspicion of power abuse and misappropriation of government funds for the 14th general election and was then remanded for 6 days the following day. In another development, a former executive director of a company has been charged at the Johor Bahru Sessions Court with 7 counts of criminal breach of trust involving more than 8 million ringgit. 59-year-old Si Chow Shon pleaded not guilty to all charges before Judge Aizatu Akmal Maharani. He was accused of making payments by depositing money into his personal account involving 7 transactions between December 2007 and June 2014. The court granted the accused a bail of 250,000 ringgit with 1 surety and ordered C to hand over his passport. He allowed C to pay 50,000 ringgit as a first installment of his bail and for the rest to be paid by November 8th. Case management has been set for November 21st. A Kedah Parti Keadilan Rakyat PKR leader was remanded for a week beginning today after allegedly money politics in the party elections. The Alor Setar Magistrates Court granted the remand order against the 59-year-old following an application by the MACC. According to a source, the suspect was alleged to have asked for 20,000 ringgit from a party member to enable the latter to contest for a divisional head post in Kedah in the ongoing PKR election. It was learned that the suspect, who contested in one of the state constituencies in the last general election, was arrested at 4:10 p.m. yesterday when he surrendered to the state MACC office. The probe was being carried out under the MACC Act. In other news, police have busted a Macau scam syndicate which was operating at a condominium in Kuala Lumpur. 23 Chinese nationals were arrested in a raid conducted by the Commercial Crime Investigation Department on October 18th. City Police Chief Datuk Seri Mazlul Nazim said the syndicate primarily targeted people from China.
Dia akan study dulu background orang itu dan kemudian from there dia akan cari apa kelemahan dan ketakutan orang penat. Worried about, macam orang worried, apa bimbang dia. Contohnya dia bimbang kena tangkap dia tu. Dia ni orang biasa tapi takut kena tangkap, malu lah dengan orang lain. Betul tak? Jadi itu sebabnya mereka pandai. Mereka menggunakan teknik-teknik ini untuk menipu mereka yang naif ni. Especially mereka yang orang biasa, layman.
He added that all 23 suspects, aged between 18 and 39, were paid 3,000 ringgit a month to con victims. The police also seized 3,585 ringgit in cash, 22 computers, 28 mobile phones and other electronic devices during the raid. The authorities were still investigating the number of victims, the amount of money they made off with, and the mastermind behind the syndicate. The Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry is in intense discussions with the Finance Ministry on a new mechanism for subsidized petrol with various target groups. Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said his ministry also discussed with petrol companies and petrol station operators to ensure that the existing system used is suitable for the mechanism and hopes the decision will be finalized soon.
pertama, golongan penerima mesti benar-benar kalangan yang layak. Bagaimana kita tahu golongan ini? Boleh jadi melalui data garis pendapatan, atau boleh jadi melalui kenderaan yang mereka gunakan sehari-hari. Okey, perinciannya lebih detail lah nanti ya, sebab kalau satu keluarga tu ada kenderaan Toyota Altis satu, Mitsubishi Triton satu, Myvi satu, Peredo satu, apakah kesemua tu layak? Jadi kita kata akan ada perincian lagi, sama ada semua layak ke, satu keluarga satu kenderaan saja ke.
He said the mechanism is one of the government's efforts to reduce the people's cost of living and will be given to those in the B40 income group. This is because out of the 1.2 billion litres of petrol used a month, 90% of Malaysians use subsidised petrol, the RON 95, while only 10% use the RON 97. The Malaysian Food Bank program has since August this year collected a whopping 835,000 kilograms of surplus food. Datuk Sri Saifuddin said the program is a public initiative aimed to increase the awareness among consumers to prepare food only in the required amounts and to help the relevant parties manage surplus food in a systematic manner. Now, according to the minister, the pilot project so far covers 5 states, benefiting households in the low-income group from Malacca, Negeri Sembilan, Selangor, Kuala Lumpur and Johor. The program will be extended to December before it is implemented in full force by next year.
Daripada Ogos hingga Disember, saat saya sedang bercakap ini, sekarang, kita telah mengumpulkan sebanyak 835,000 kilogram lebihan makanan. 835,000 kilogram lebihan makanan ini boleh kita hidangkan kepada 25,000 ahli isi rumah setakat berjalan sekarang. So impaknya itu besar. Sebab itu saya nak ambil peluang ini mengajak rakan-rakan ahli yang berhormat ikut membantu memberikan sumbangan tenaga dan memperkenalkan badan-badan bukan kerajaan yang mahu ikut sama terlibat. Saya juga telah memanggil semua exco kepenggunaan negeri-negeri untuk ikut sama-sama menyusun dan merancang.
Among the ministry's strategic partners on the project are Tesco, Aeon, Maidin, 99 Speedmart and many more. Datuk Sri Saifuddin added that the data bank of surplus food recipients have been identified through several platforms, including mosque committees, State Zakat Board, the e-Kasih system and the Department of Social Welfare. After the breather, police hunt a man with popular star lookalike for stealing beers. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now let's move on to our daily segment, Clickbait, where we bring you the latest viral and trending topics of the day. Now, a thief in Blackpool caught fame overnight as a CCTV still image of him was shared on Blackpool Police's Facebook page, where netizens dubbed the spitting image of Friends actor David Schwimmer clutching a crate of beer. The post has raked in 63,000 reactions and gradually descended as a Friends quote fest, attracting some 169,000 comments referencing the show. Schwimmer later responded to the post with a spoof video of his own on his socials, where he wished the officers good luck for hunting his double. Blackpool Police then confirmed on their post that Schwimmer indeed was not in the UK at the time of the offence. The suspect is still at large, wanted for the alleged theft of a jacket, wallet and mobile from the restaurant. Putting the spotlight back on Schwimmer, it was not known whether the Emmy-nominated star has visited the Lancashire seaside resort. Kids are such innocent beings, yet cheeky little things. A teacher in the United States got very amused while checking papers recently thanks to the witty and humorous answer of her 7th grade student. Evelyn Lizette shared on Twitter last Monday a part of the exam she gave the students, asking them to tell a joke. Now, and this little one simply answered, "Our president," referring to Donald Trump. Her post quickly went viral with over 6,000 retweets and almost 25,000 likes as of time of writing. However, one netizen pointed out that the teacher may cause her trouble, to which she replied, "I didn't make the question political. He did." And what was the student's grade on the test? Lizette revealed that the student got an A. Now updated as of 7 p.m., here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Back to local news. Police have rescued a woman and her 2 children, aged 2 and 5, who followed her late husband to join the Daesh militants in Syria. The 31-year-old woman from Terengganu had earlier sought help from the police after being stranded in Idlib. The tale of the young mother, known as Aisha, and her 2 children was revealed by Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Fuzi Harun this morning. Aisha said that the family of 4 went to Istanbul, Turkey in March 2016 in what she thought was a family vacation. When they arrived in Istanbul, however, her husband only then revealed that they would be crossing to Syria to join the extremist organization. The husband then left Aisha and their 2 young children in Idlib before joining other militants in their terror activities around Syria. Tan Sri Fuzi said Aisha's husband was killed during a terror attack last February, and the young mother later sought help from the Malaysian police to bring them home. With the assistance from Turkish authorities, Aisha and her 2 children finally returned to Malaysia on October 6th. The International Trade and Industry Ministry, MITI, will continue efforts to maintain the rising trend of country's labour productivity and employment growth. Its Deputy Minister, Dr. Ong Kian Ming, said the 2 segments recorded an increase of 3.5% and 1.5% respectively between 2014 and 2017. In his speech at the Business Excellence CEO Forum, jointly organized by the Ministry and the Malaysia Productivity Corporation MPC earlier today, Dr. Ong said the Ministry will focus on, among others, enhancing Malaysia's export competitiveness and fostering regional integration.
The government strongly supports the holistic and intended initiatives to drive higher productivity at the national, sectoral and enterprise level. One such government effort is in the sector productivity nexus established under the Malaysian Productivity Blueprint. The Productivity Nexus accelerates the implementation of 43 initiatives within 9 priority subsectors, ranging from services to manufacturing and communications technology.
Themed Business Excellence, Make It Happen, Make It Matter. The forum is aimed at enhancing the understanding of business excellence initiatives based on Malaysia Business Excellence Framework. 10 companies received certificates of recognition at the forum for their contribution towards productivity growth in their respective industries.
Memang sungguh gembira dan saya mengucapkan terima kasih kepada MCC kerana memilih saya. Tetapi kejayaan ini bukan kejayaan saya seorang. Ia adalah perlu dikongsi dengan semua staf saya di syarikat Exicom dan partner kami Kazakon. Jadi semua ini telah membantu sehingga saya mendapat anugerah inilah.
If you are a business owner, you have to serve the community. You have to learn and you have to walk your way. It's not only about money, because the more important is how do you build up the nation and also how your contribution is able to help people to grow and serve to the productivity of the nation.
Earlier, Dr. Ong witnessed the signing ceremony of a Memorandum of Understanding between the MPC and Sunway Construction Group Berhad to develop quality environment manual and assessment criteria for the construction industry. At the same event, Dr. Ong Kian Ming said the government has received 21 proposals from both local and foreign firms for the third national car project, up from the previous 14 announced earlier. Now, according to him, the increased number of proposals prove that the new national car project has not been impacted by the United Kingdom-based Dyson's decision to set up a new electric car manufacturing plant in Singapore.
I think Malaysians should not
worry too much that Dyson decided to set up their car manufacturing plant in Singapore. Malaysia hasn't lost out. We still have many opportunities to participate.
Case in point, 3 Malaysian companies have been listed in the stock exchange as a result of Dyson's contract manufacturing of its component parts. He also alluded that more good news pertaining to Dyson's related investment would be made by International Trade and Industry Minister Darrell Lay King on his return from an official visit to Bangkok.